Well, happy Monday once again, everyone. Bryan Devore with the Devore Realty Group. Here with another Monday market moment, and we're seeing a reversal. I don't know about a reversal, but quite a change in the market right now. So let's jump right into this week's report. So, of course, we'll talk about the latest stats and some staggering information. The U.S., the most affordable country in the world, talk about that. Are we approaching bubble territory? And we'll talk about some of the thoughts that people have on that. And finally, some fun 5 floating homes for sale. What's a floating home? We'll find that out. But first, the totals. Right now, we have 2,498 homes for sale. That is a huge increase of 252 from last week, a 10% increase in the number of total homes for sale in San Diego County. Biggest jump in I don't know how long. So inventory is really coming on. This is the time of year when it happens. In fact, I reported in a recent Monday market moment that last week was the #1 week of the year to do it. Looks like people did. Pending sales down 60 from last week, 3,213. Months of inventory is 0.82. So we're back above 0.8 months of inventory, still low, obviously, but up 0.07 from last week. So speaking of since last week, we saw 1,174 homes come on the market, which is an increase from the week before of 186. So again, over about 10%, a little more than 10% comparatively from last week to the week before. New pendings, 596, they were down 94. So more homes coming on the market, fewer homes going into escrow. Interest rates are climbing. So that's what we're seeing right now, folks. New pendings listed within the last week, 64. It's 11%. So it's actually more homes went into escrow after only being on the market for a week than the week before. So even though we're seeing more inventory coming on the market, fewer homes going into escrow, they're still selling quickly. New pendings listed within the last 2 weeks, 391, that's 66%. That's down a little bit from the week before. In the last week, we saw 581 homes close escrow. That's an increase of 39, which is a good sign. The median list price, $849. That's up $3,000 from last week. Median sales price, $892.5. That's up $12,500 from last week. Average days on market, 12. That's up 1 day. It says 1 days from last week. The least expensive sale in the county last week, $186,000 manufactured home in Santee, not Borrego Springs, for the first time in a while. The most expensive sale, only $9,500,000 in Rancho Santa Fe. Here is the graph showing new actives, new pendings, and new closings. You can see the huge jump in the number of actives. It's higher than it's been in quite a while, while the new pendings dropping quite a bit, in fact, lower than it's been in quite a while. And the total sales are up a little bit because that's representative of homes that went into escrow probably 2 to 4 or 5 weeks prior. Median list price and median sales price is still climbing a little bit from those closed sales. U.S. most affordable country? Question mark. Is it? Well, Demographia International did a housing study, and they did find that the U.S. is the most affordable country for the average person. The most affordable markets in the world, #1 was Pittsburgh, then Oklahoma City, then Rochester, New York, Edmonton, Canada, and then St. Louis. So 4 of the top 5 were all in the U.S. Where are the least affordable markets? Hong Kong's #1. It's always #1. Sydney, #2. Vancouver, San Jose. So we did have something in the U.S. In the bottom 5. And Melbourne, Australia. So we have a couple in Australia. So Australia is not such an affordable place to live. Are we approaching bubble territory? There's a good article you'll see in the Constant Contact email that talks about some of the things we look at when we're considering if the market's in a bubble. Right now, buyers are paying about 42% more in their monthly mortgage payments for the same home than they were a year ago, and that's nationally. So we're looking, of course, in San Diego for most of the people who look at this report. But again, this is a national study. Some feel prices could fall 5 to 10% over the next year, 2, 3 years. Others aren't so sure. Some people don't think the prices are going to go down at all. Desirable communities still command a premium. Those are still going to sell, especially areas with good jobs. In the short term, buyers are still rushing to lock in their purchases because they want to get them before rates keep going up. It's not like 2009, though. And I was selling homes back then when there were risky loans. There were a lot of foreclosures that were happening. We're not seeing those risky loans. We're not seeing a foreclosure crisis. And we are still seeing a restriction in the number of homes for sale relative to the number of people who want to buy them, at least for right now. We are starting to see a little bit of reversal of that. Okay, and finally, 5 floating homes for sale. What's the definition of a floating home? Literally floating on the water. Here are 3 pictures of some homes, 3 of those 5. The first one at the top is a $3 million home in Seattle. It's got lots of windows, got a nice view of the water. There's a floating home if you want to buy it. If you want to get something less expensive, for only $545,000, you can buy the home on the bottom left in Portland. And finally, check out the one on the bottom right. It's got the artificial grass on top, lots of greenery, pretty cool home. That's only $645,000 in Hollywood. I know you're asking yourself, where can I get a home that's floating on water in Hollywood? It's not Hollywood, California, it's Hollywood, Florida. But those are 3 of the 5 homes you can see in the Constant Contact email, the article that talks about 5 floating homes for sale. That's it for this week's Monday Market Moment. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be very interested to see what the following week looks like, what next week looks like as we enter into the month of May and see if we're still going to see these numbers that we're seeing for new actives and new pendings. Is it a continuing trend? Was it a blip? We'll find out. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day and a great week. Look forward to seeing you next Monday.